そうだ、味方だぜ。
Hello, and welcome everyone to D6, where I, Yen, bring together friends from the internet, where we play a D&D live stream show. Now, as usual, all of you know, but in case of those of you who are coming by for the very first time, hi, hello, I'm Aaron. We are paid sponsored, by the wonderful people over at the Deck of Many. In case you guys don't know what the Deck of Many is, they are the people that make wonderful and beautiful RPG, tabletop, D&D 5e reference cards, to which you guys can get on their website right now. They also do animated spells all the way up to the 4th level, in which they are lenticular cards and stuff like that. They also had a Kickstarter for Humblewood and other stuff that is just absolutely amazing. The people over at the Deck of Many are beautiful people, and look at the beautiful art and things that they make. In ever the case that you want to be able to have quick access, and if you decide to run your game tabletop wise, I really suggest checking out the Deck of Many. That is thedeckofmany.com for your RPG reference cards. And also, don't forever forget our second and wonderful sponsors that have been here since day one is the patrons over on Patreon. People like Philip Warden, Shadow Neko, Julian Viller, and This Name is Taken. Bunch of wonderful patrons that continue to support us privately and also continue to help me produce the show every single month. We are actually about $150 away from our next goal, which is the $1,000 goal, which will allow me to hire editors and various other people in order to come and work with me, and that I can just pay, so that way we can get more content and stuff being produced. It's not just D&D, it's everything that I do. That includes YouTube, that includes Twitch, that includes everything. So if you want to go check it out, there is a link down below. I really suggest you do. And with that being said, sponsors aside, I would like to introduce my players. You may now awaken.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Wise from your grave.
Wise from your grave.
Here's
Yes!
the fucking train.
Yes! Perfect timing!
That was amazing timing.
Ah,
Let's
that
just
was
get this out of the
great!
way.
Train wanted to say hello.
Hello, choo choo.
All right. So before anything, we're gonna go ahead jumping into some announcements. So I'm gonna try and get through mine as fast as I usually do. I know I have like a billion every single time I do one of these. I got 3. First and foremost, if you guys are interested, which I'm pretty sure you are if you are watching the show, we do have a YouTube channel now explicitly dedicated to D6 Dawn Rite. It is D6 Dawn Rite on YouTube, and all of our former episodes are now currently uploaded on the YouTube channel. So if you have missed out on any past weeks, or if there's anything that you want to be able to go check out, I really suggest you do. We are trying to get that YouTube thing going. So if you guys are interested, and also on top of that, episodes will be posted on Saturday, 9 a.m. every Saturday, and then you'll be able to get caught up on the show. And in ever the case that if we decide to do something more with the channel, we will. But as for right now, it's just a place where we can upload the VODs. I'm very happy. It has been growing very, 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 very well, and also it's just been nice. So yeah. The second thing that I would like to announce, I would like to apologize for something actually. I did not post a video last Friday. I was very, very busy, also very, very tired. One of the contracts for my studio has finally gone up, meaning all the work that I have done over the past 8 months is finally over, and I'm free to do whatever I like. I just wanted to sleep more, which is something I've been desperately needing. I needed to take care of myself. So this week there was no video. However, this upcoming week, this Friday, Spicy Anime review of Shield Hero will be out, and that will hopefully might be able to satiate some of your need to watch me suffer, other than watching me try and flip through pages and pages of notes here on the show every week. And the final announcement, of course, I have a show called Fate Zero. I've been producing it over the past several years. I had done it with a friend. It is now personally my project that I am currently running. Fate Zero is an abridged series of Fate Zero that I started back in 2014. We're now doing episode 5, and to those of you who are interested in that, scene 1 of Fate Zero episode 5 is currently over on the Patreon. If you guys want to go check that out, it includes none other than Terrence here on the show. It also includes my friend Danny, who makes Fate Apocrypha Abridged. It includes even Kaiser Neko from Team 4-Star as well. You'll be able to get to see everyone in their element here, and I really hope that all of you will enjoy it. So, that being all my announcements, I've spent enough of your time already, so we're going to go ahead, go around the circle, and hopefully we'll be able to jump right on into game. So, that being said, Boo, what is your plans for the next week, or you have anything to announce?
I was supposed to be working on commissions this week, but I'm putting that aside to work on a very special project that should be done Friday. So you might want to stay tuned for that, but other than that, I got nothing else really going on.
Alrighty, good to know. So, Bracky.
I am Bracky, aka Bracky Soy. I'll be playing River, the Halfling Fighter. And I don't do much. I just do the doodles and play games at twitch.tv/BrackySoid. And I'll be sick for the rest of the game. You go ahead and continue with someone else.
Okay. Caitlin.
Hello, I am Caitlin C37. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Caitlin C37. I paint a lot. Commissions are currently open. I stream those should I get any. And that is pretty much it.
Yeah, I currently am aiming to try and get one of those commissions for a very particular reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
if it is the one I know you're talking about, then yes.
Oh yeah. Sir Malavik.
Hey, I don't really have anything to announce, but you can catch me streaming on occasion at twitch.tv at Sir_Malarvik, and can also follow my Twitter.
Awesome.
About it.
All right, good to know. Mr. Zito.
Now that my fucking hellish work week is over, you can
Yeah.
find me over on twitch.tv/Zito, where finally I can play Goose Game, something that everyone's been yelling at me to play. And trust me, I know, just for fuck's sake, I have worked the entire weekend. If I didn't take days off this upcoming week, I would have been working 13 to 15 days straight. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Fucking ouch.
It is a big
Enjoy your geese.
Yeah, so Geese will be enjoyed. There will be a stream where if you want more D&D nonsense, I picked up this book called, well, not even picked this up. I kickstarted this book called The Ultimate Race Creator, and I'm going to take a spin at it on stream. And the random generator tables on these books are fucking wild. So if you want some wacky, stupid shit races made, come on over to the stream.
And Baraki weeps.
Every time a homebrew character is made, you can hear a tear hit the ground from Mexico. It's
Oh, you can also make not only playable races, you can also make your own familiars for druids and or any mage class.
You know, I don't know if I want to puke because I feel sick or because of this.
And you can also make magic items based on your batshit stupid races, Bracky. I'm gonna force you in there. I'm gonna fucking hack your IP address and make you go to every channel. It's me that day.
Hooray!
Hooray!
I know people who code.
God damn it.
So do we.
So to anyone that's ever interested, look forward to that. Is that everything, Chris? Chris, is that everything?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. And last but not least, of course, our wonderful friend Terrence. How are you now? Oh my
I can't top that performance, so I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Hi, I'm Dry. It's morning time. I've been awake for exactly
30 minutes? 45?
Oh, no.
20 minutes?
Okay.
Oh,
Ah,
jeez.
fuck, I'm out of coffee.
Fresh in the
Uh,
morning.
Ah, yes. As the cat would almost have me attached to the bed, being like, "No, father, you cannot leave today," but I've escaped.
Fair enough.
In terms of announcements to post, there is a new video on my YouTube channel that I did recently. It's a comic dub. If you want to watch it, you can check it out there.
Yeah.
I think I can actually announce this now. So there is a game currently in development, or it's still in development, but I think there are some things working right now. I'm gonna be one of the voices for a game called Bulletville. If you look at it on my Twitter at Terrence Drive VA, you can probably see me talking about it. But it's a game that's been in development for a while now, and I voice one of the characters named Geartooth. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this all comes together. Finally submitted everything, and this will be interesting.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I hope to see the game, and I hope to see your performance. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes,
All
it is going to be fun times ahead. But in terms of announcement, that's all I got.
All right. Before we start with tonight's game, I know we've all done our announcements. To those of you who are interested, last announcement. I swear, I'm sorry, it's skipping my mind. I have a whole bunch of codes for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a online free-to-play Dungeons & Dragons based strategy game for the PC. If you want one of these codes, because I got a whole bunch of these when I bought a brick of miniatures. If you want one of these codes, on Twitter, use hashtag D60R as well as hashtag Idle Champions, so that I know that you're interested, as well as one of your favorite moments of tonight's stream. And of course, these codes come with an exclusive golden epic card, 5 gear-filled gold chest, and 1 million gold. So this is a code if you are deciding to go ahead and jump on into this game for the very first time. So that being said, if you want to check out Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and you want to get one of these codes, favorite moment of tonight, hashtag D60R, hashtag Idle Champions. All right, that's everything.
Right.
I want to roll dice, damn it. Let's go.
All right, so
Let's do it.
let us do.
Please.
All right,
Let's
so
rock and roll.
that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get everything down. So, where we had last left off, after defeating a hag and transferring her back into an archfey, Urzer staying behind in the south forest of Vale, and also getting a new party member within Vale after a little bit of interrogation between our Asmar cleric. The party began to travel up north in order to make it to Rite. Unfortunately, their supplies would not last them the 2.5 weeks to get there, so they needed to make a stop in Kragg first. So, after traveling and also taking care of what was a bugbear raid and releasing a couple of bugbears and teaching them that they need to fend for themselves, claiming a reward and stopping within Kragg. And at this point, after a little bit of conversation with the driver, who happens to be a part of some sort of thieves guild, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of conversation, and then at a certain point, after collecting their reward, the guards have begun speaking up and talking about a prisoner that resides below Kragg, and a name that might be familiar to one of the members. Speaking of
Can you leave me alone one session, Yarrow?
speaking of a character known as Leroy Dustlake, as the Stone Wardens begin to pass the name around, and they begin to speak of a recent event. So, that being said, you guys are standing in the middle of Kragg, an undermountain dwarven city, which has been mined here and built as the guards begin to kind of continue the conversation of rumors that have begun to pass between each other. You guys step away. Is there anything that any of you want to do tonight?
I want to find some damn magic in this godforsaken place.
Might be a possibility. If you want to make an investigation check.
I sure do.
Okay.
Lionel sheet and blam. That will be a. God, blah blah blah. 22.
As you begin to look around, there seems to always be, you know, many of metal workers and blacksmiths, especially it being a dwarven city. You are very keen on trying to point out if there's anybody with any particular magic items, and you do happen to find one that a couple of whispers have passed by. A very not well-known name, someone of their family name being known as the Firemounts, and they reside in within the 5th tier below the mountain.
Well, I got a magic stick that needs fixing. I want to figure out what this fucker does.
All right. So you wish to go see this Arcanist? No, I will let you. I will get to that in a second. Anybody else? Anybody that will go with him, or do you?
Oh, no, you got it.
Real quick, I might be interested in tagging along with Lionel, but first, I was wondering if I could find anybody who could, A, supply me with some more arrows, and B, possibly find a piece of equipment that can hold more arrows.
There's plenty of blacksmiths around here. If you know, arrows wouldn't be uncommon for them to make, comparative to bolts and other various stuff. Let's see. Make. I would say make a investigation check, because you're just trying to find anyone that'd be willing to finding any blacksmiths within the area.
That's a 26.
26? With little to no problem, you are pretty much, you are familiar with one name within the city as a couple of suggestions, but it doesn't seem like they speak it with pride. However, the work has been well done. There's a couple of dwarves that even show you the very clean and well forged metals that they've gotten from this smith. So we'll say that will be for you. All right. Anybody else?
I kind of just want Gar to like walk around, like get lost again, to see what happens, what's out there.
Okay. So Garo, you decide to walk the city.
And you can just save that for last after everyone's done.
Figures I end up in Philadelphia.
Of course I would end up in Philadelphia.
I can't believe this happened again!
The very first thing we do as we arrive to the city, we split the party.
Well, that depends.
Hell yeah.
Well,
It's
not
the
like
city.
any
What's the
of
worst
us
that could
have
happen?
any, not like any of us have some haunting figures that fucking follow us wherever we go, like shadows.
Every time.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Anybody
Whose
else?
fault is that?
Yeah, whose fault is it, Canis?
I have Ghost Dad to protect me.
Ghost Dad.
Oh no, you don't want that ghost dad.
Oh fuck.
All right. Anybody else? Any other plans?
Canis already had plans to meet up with the Queen of Vale up here, didn't he?
No. You met. You met her way back when. Like, she wasn't coming to Kragg.
You're off the
Alright.
hook, boy.
I mean,
Fantastic.
you do know Kragg does have a church for Bahamut here, though. He's one of the top 3 deities within the city of Kragg, aside from the Allhammer.
I bet I could swing free lodging there.
All right. So you decide to go to the church. All right. And Franz, what are you doing?
Franz. Well, is there any kind of like potion shops kind of sort of around here, more or less, that deal with healing minor wounds? Nothing serious, just like minor things.
Make an investigation check.
Okay, okay. That is a 12 plus 2, 14.
Unfortunately, this is not a place where the trade of potions and various other medicinal based mixtures are made. This is a mining city. This is, it's mostly dwarves who do a lot of blacksmithing, who study magic, but it's not in the sense of making potions and various other things that you'd be able to immediately find. You probably have more luck in the Emerald Enclave.
They take all injuries but stride. There's like an 8-year-old with a pickaxe hanging out of his arm, and he's like, "I'm coming! Here I go!"
Yeah,
running with scissors, no less.
probably
Christ.
knowing the dwarven nature.
Well, with that being said, would I be able to find a blacksmith that could make like some kind of, I wouldn't want to say metal quarterstaff, but like something that's stronger than the one that I have now?
Possibly a blacksmith, considering that your friend Helena is currently on her way to try and find one with Lionel going shopping as well.
You want to open up that grenade? You want to pull that pin?
We're already here, so let's see what happens.
Right,
come on, walk with us. Walk next to your best friend.
Oh boy!
So Lionel,
yes.
Lionel, Franz, and Helena, you guys are gonna go to shop. Canis, you're going to the church. Garu, you're getting lost in the city. River, what are you doing?
Of course.
I'll keep what I heard to myself at the moment for the thinking. I'm going to do what people should do when they reach this kind of point in their lives and go buy supplies for our travel.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go get. Sorry, I'm gonna go get 2 weeks worth of rations and normal food.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna go get hammered.
I don't drink.
No, she eats cheese. That's her vice.
Yep.
All right. As far as
She can't afford to get drunk.
As far as you know, River, the inn where Bumbuk decided to stay, there's also a general store nearby. So, for what would be the lasting of 2.5 weeks worth, or about 2 weeks worth of rations, comparative to you for your.
Yeah, some rations like a dry jerky and or normal food in case you decide to prepare something.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, so that would cost you. It's about $1 a day. So, so about 14 gold for about 2 weeks worth of rations.
Okay, I'm going to take that from the shared account.
All right, good to know.
I don't think anyone is going to object for our food.
All right.
No, that's a
Nope.
good idea.
All right.
Not at all.
So, you have your rations. So, first things first.
And when I'm done with that, I'm just gonna go get myself a dagger.
Get yourself a dagger. Okay. So, which is easy for you. Blacksmiths all around the city.
Yeah.
So, Lionel. Let's start with you. So, Lionel, as you and your friends decide to pass by the city, and you find yourself about the 5th ring, as you guys go deeper here, you notice that it begins to have a bit more of a musky smell. When you live closer to the mines, generally there is a sense of level of honor that comes with living, from the first floor up. But going down lower, meaning you are more of a worker than you are a blacksmith.
Lionel's all about this. Like middle class to low class stuff. He's all about this.
Yeah, so there is about another 7 to 8 levels that go lower than this, but this is considered, you know, not the prissier rings. As you guys get here, you see some of the dwarves and even some mixed races. While you're down here, you find you do find what is known as the Fire Mount Hell Shop. It is hot. You can see that there is flames almost bursting from the sides, and most people have kind of just stayed away, and they're not too keen on getting near, and even sort of eye you as you guys get closer towards the doors.
This is my moment. Today I get my fireball spell.
So, as you open, it is almost like a blast of hot air. The room is a bright orange. There's brass and copper everywhere. You see on the other side what looks to be a very gangly, not stout looking dwarf with what looks to be a very full beard that reaches all the way down to the floor, and he's mostly bald and with hair pulled back to a knot towards the back. His eyes are deep and blackened all around, and the color of the irises are that familiar of like glowing metal. And he looks up. Hey? I believe I've never met any of you before.
No, we're new here.
My name is the Hellfire Mount. If any of you are looking for spells, I wouldn't test me.
Oh, of course not. I'd be willing to trade for them.
Trade? What trade? Here within the Fire Mount house, you prove your worth.
Oh, well, how does one prove their worth then? Lionel's just all about this. He doesn't give a fuck.
As he gets up, you can see he is mostly skin and bone. He wears what looks to be a tapered cloth and very thick leathered pants and these big boots. He begins to walk over. You can hear it's almost weird considering how skinny he is. It's almost as if there is no effort in lifting anything that he has behind him. He slaps the side of the wall, and you see a bunch of small doors begin to open with little targets on them. Each one of these will measure your ability. Show me what you have, rat. And he sits back down.
Ooh, Lionel turns and looks at him, catatonic face. A challenge then. Very well. Wait a minute, hold on. I do want something in return for this.
Return?
Yes, return. I was of the assumption that this was a shop of some kind. I know magic seems very rare around here, and you seem low in this ring.
He kind of almost looks like he's about to spit off to the side, but holds his jaw.
Surely I didn't come here for target practice for nothing.
You earn these spells.
That's the only way I know how to earn anything.
Knowledge is earned, correct?
Mm-hmm. Lionel just nods his head and looks at the doors. What do they look like?
The doors, they look like arcane circles. Each one looks like they might lead off to an area, as they look like they complete pieces of arcane circles. It's almost as if it might even do something within the immediate room.
Can I roll an Arcana check to figure it out?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, buddy. I'm about nat 20.
Natural 20.
Yay!
All right. So by firing at any of these targets, as you're kind of leading your eyes and following the circles and the way that they are designed, they all lead up to what looks to be a center crystal in the ceiling, and it does seem to have a slight low glow to it. As far as you are familiar with this kind of crystal, these are crystals in which magic is put in and they act as like a power source. So it seems like in order to present this shop the way it is, he's using this crystal as for his own personal power source. So he's probably getting you to use magic in order to power his shop.
Okay, well, knowing that, so what is it? So I'll ask this then. I'll actually turn and look to him. Oh, I see. Magic for magic. But then, which door are the doors different? Surely one test or one of these doors will lead to something that is very specific.
These doors are specific, but that is something you will find out soon.
Ominous.
Oh, awesome. Listen, I want me my magic test. Lionel's here to prove himself, and boy howdy, let's fucking go. So there are 3 doors, correct?
Yeah, there are 3 separate doors. And this is just general perception, they both have, or all 3 of them have separate colors.
What are the colors?
Red, green, and black.
Lionel's gonna head towards that red door.
Okay. What do you do?
I guess I the door?
So, as you reach to open the door, upon opening it, you once again are immediately met with more heat, only this time almost like an arching fire. And it seems like at the end of the room, there is a small pedestal where it looks like arcane magic is put into it. But however, you are surrounded by what looks to be streams of fire as fire vents are bursting one after another.
Alright. Let me check out my spells, because I think I have something for this. Manage spells. Go. Oh, dude, fuck yeah. So, do I see if any of the, do I see if anything is near the pedestal? Like, are there vents that are near the pedestal or aiming towards it?
No, the hallway is where just a whole bunch of vents are just pushing fire one after another. It's kind of like one of those levels in a video game where like you can see the end of something, but like you have to get past the room.
Would a well-placed Misty Step get me to where I need?
Possibly.
Alright, can I gauge how far I need to go? Wait a minute.
The length of a hallway is about 30 feet.
Yeah, Lionel just like turns around, just like fucking like snaps, looks at everyone with a big dopey smile, snaps his fingers, Misty steps to the pedestal.
All right, and as you Misty step towards the pedestal, the door closes behind you, and you reach the pedestal. And as you step, the entire pedestal area begins to glow, and arcane lines begin to feed up towards the ceiling. And you see the pedestal as it stands before you. There is a small circle where you would probably place your palm.
I'll put me tiny fingers there on top of the pedestal.
All right. As you do, I need you to make an intelligence check.
Check or save?
It would be a save because it's gonna do something.
Hooray! I have a +6 in that. Here I go.
While you're doing that, Yarrow, I know you want to be told if it's happened again. Apparently your audio is a video.
Ahead? Ahead or behind?
Evidently. No, sorry, video is ahead of the audio. My bad.
Video is ahead. Huh. That doesn't happen very often.
And just quickly throw it there. 18.
18? Okay, good to know.
Yeah, the stream we still hear us properly, right? That's not like lagging, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're saying it's ahead, which is weird. Not behind, but ahead.
That is weird.
Huh.
Maybe just refresh it, I guess. I don't know.
The audio is ahead of the video about half a second.
Half a second. Okay. I mean, well, it is good to know, but I'll probably have to fix that in the edit because I cannot stop the stream right now.
Oh,
Fair
good.
enough.
Alright. So, as you place your hand palm on the pedestal, you suddenly feel almost as if a surge of energy leaves you, and it does 2 points of force damage as it feeds in and it reverberates, and you do lose one of your first level slots for today as it leaves you, and the entire room goes from this glowing red to a dull yellow. It begins to calm down. The fire vents begin to shut off. You see as the energy leaves you and it enters the immediate room, it shuts off everything, and then it leads back into the other room.
Lyle just orange claps his.
Alright. And as you finish up, you turn around and you begin to walk towards the other side, and you open the door, and as you do, the door shuts and it begins to fade. Magic for magic. What may I do for you?
Lionel produces the stick. We found this out in the field. It's a little roughed up, and while I can make magic, I'm in no way, shape, or form able to actually repair anything that's magical. Is that something you can do?
May I see it?
I hand it to him.
And he holds it. He begins to inspect the staff in a. It's odd because it's almost as if he kind of has a base understanding of it as he begins to check it more. He looks up towards you. You managed to find this in a field, correct?
Refresh my memory. We got this during the Hagman. Yes, or am I crazy?
That is true.
Well, field is more of a vague sense, but if you absolutely need the details.
I do not.
Like, I'm questioning him if he actually wants to peer deeper into where I got it.
No, it's fine. I am aware of this kind of stuff. It was once whole. And you might be able to find other pieces of it, but this is one. And he hands it back to you. If ever the case that you do find the other pieces of the staff, you are more than welcome to return to me, and I will repair it for a price.
Ooh, very well. Well, if you may not be able to assist me with my staff, knowledge for knowledge.
Aye.
Do you have spells willing to trade?
Aye. Many of the fire and ice.
Lionel.
And
Lionel flips through his book. Lionel flips through his book, realizing that there is no fireball spell.
There is no fireball spell.
Hey, buddy, I think I know what I want. Lionel just, grins and just, writes, smiles and just, points at the book. Perhaps a fireball spell?
I do have something of that variety. Do you happen to have anything that I might look into?
Oh, he wants. We're not like physically trading. We're just showing off knowledge.
Yeah,
here.
pretty much.
Okay. Well, he has a pick from. Fireball is a level 1 spell, correct?
It is a
It
third
is
level
a
spell.
Third level spell. All right, so a third for a third. I have Counterspell, Fly, and Galder's Tower. And if he wants Polymorph, I also have that.
And he begins to, as you begin to show him some of your findings and your studies, he asks you about the tower.
Oh. Well, my forte is that of conjuring. He like holds his hand up and he shows like he like puts his hand down on top of the on the floor. He lifts up he looks like he's lifting up stone, but he pulls up a little cobblestone that makes a small statue of Lionel.
Oh, okay. He's mildly impressed. The Arcanist really likes that.
And one of the spells that I found would be most useful in our travels, at least to keep my companion safe, would be to make a tower, something that's a little bit more homey and not, just a tent out in the middle of the woods.
I've always wanted to leave here for a while, but never had a home beyond it. Would you mind if I trade you for the knowledge of your tower, and I will provide you knowledge with casting fire?
So we're not giving the complete spell away, we're just giving the knowledge of what the spell does, yes?
It's basically...
Okay, sweet.
Basically, he's copying down what you have, and you're copying down what he has.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, I will absolutely trade Galder's Tower for Fireball.
Alright, so you guys proceed onward with trading knowledge, and thus you now have Fireball.
I wish you luck. There's nothing better than to spread your wings and fly out in the wilderness.
Alright, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you don't kill yourself with this.
Oh, trust me, I've killed many things. Lionel kind of just like looks down his hand and whipples around a chromatic orb or 3 and then just like cups them in his hand.
Fair enough. Alright. Trading cards but for wizards.
Hell yeah.
Alright, so after formally finishing up your business with the Arcanist, Shahel Firemount. There, I think that's pretty much everything.
Helena does pipe up. I am not magically inclined myself, so I don't need to learn anything. However, I was curious to know if you may know of any magic, very powerful ice magic. Ice that couldn't even be melted by fire.
No, the magic is beyond me. If anything, you might want to inspect upon that of a white dragon. Their ice is everlasting, and often takes shape and form, and takes a significant amount of time for it to disappear.
I see. That's still very helpful. Helena will give a polite nod. Thank you.
Franz. Or
Franz looks around, sees that this is a very interesting place, but he looks over to the dwarf and he's like, "Got any quarterstaff?"
No. he looks at you stone-faced, and he's just like, you look at his shop, and like the walls are mostly barren, and there's only just like pages everywhere.
Helena gives Franz a little elbow, and she just says, don't worry, I plan on shopping. I'm sure we can find something while we're out.
Lionel holds his finger up. A moment, then. If it's something of that nature, why not we add a magical twist to it? Would you happen to have a spell that can conjure sort of magical staff?
No. My studies have not brought me to such a degree.
Lionel does just turns to his book. I was gonna say he would turn to Franz and say, "Sorry, buddy, but we ain't at that phase just yet."
Hmm. he shakes his head like, yeah, that's fair. He wants to ask again, but instead of asking for a quarterstaff, he wants to ask if he's able to fix a broken one.
As you present what is a slightly broken one, should be simple. And he uses mending on it. And pretty much it uses the material that's already there. Since they're very simple cracks, he basically closes the cracks and breaks, and also pretty much cleans up the metal that's on it. And that's pretty much it.
How much?
2 gold.
He graciously gives him 5. He's been wanting to get this damn thing fixed for a while.
Yeah, as he extends out, his fingers are long, and the underparts of his nails are black. He grabs hold, and then he pockets it.
You have very wonderful hands, sir. My master would be proud.
Oh, disgusting.
These are hands of a working man.
Jesus.
Calluses have calluses.
There's no
Oh
reason
my
to
god, that's fucking.
So
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
assuming that's the with this guy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much all Franz wanted.
All right, so that's pretty much concludes your business with Shahel Firemount.
Lionel will write down this name in the spell book.
SHEHEL FIREMOUNT. Shahel Firemount.
Firemount, cool. Lionel's collecting wizard info.
Yeah, that's one.
Does this mean we don't have the fucking tower clubhouse
No,
anymore?
you guys still have the tower. They were just trading their.
No,
their
we're
stuff.
just trading the he's
Yeah.
copying.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're copying each
Oh,
other's
gotcha.
homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
copied
okay,
his spell.
gotcha.
He copied my spell.
Yeah. One
Oh,
one of
sick.
the biggest things about the magical land of Alanon is that there are a lot of wizards that are willing to trade notes and findings and discoveries and spells, because generally that giant library in Aurario is only closed off to those who have pretty much what is the equivalent of a library card. So yeah.
Oh, so it's basically like trading Pokemon cards. Got it.
Mm.
And I got the most rare fucking first edition foil Galder's Tower ever.
Because it's a spell that nobody really wants to kind of study into, and considering it's conjuring,
How does no one want to learn Portable House?
not a lot of people want to leave.
They want the fucking rare holographic Charizard instead. Want a Fireball, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Bitch, you listen here. I got Blastoise and Venusaur. You complete this collection.
Hot damn!
Damn.
All right.
Can Lionel starts flossing with his cards.
Yeah. We need an actual animation of Lionel
Fucking
flossing.
gremlin.
All right, so Helena and Franz, you guys are headed towards a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got nothing else going on. I guess I'll go with them.
All right. So as you guys begin to travel, now down to the 6th ring. Where is my note? I have a clipboard and I do not use it well.
I have that problem too.
Yeah. Let's see. Alright, often.
I have Google Documents and Google Documents and Google Documents within Google Documents.
Alright. Oh, it's over here. Okay, so. So as you travel down to the 6th ring, looking a little bit more dingier, there are several small blacksmith houses here that all kind of lead up to the higher estates. As you begin to walk, this is a place where there's probably even more mixes of races between elves and tieflings, and gnomes, and dwarves and whatnot. As you guys reach the shop, it looks sort of not pretty. It's nothing compared to the blacksmith that you guys had met back in Arario, or rather in your experience, Helena. This place is just dirty. As you begin to walk through, you see there are 2 individuals that are currently working away at a piece of metal. One looks like he's planishing a shield, and the other one, as it begins to look up, you see that there are 2 long horns that reach towards the back. The skin a slightly reddish yellow, a little bit brighter than most tieflings, and she begins to remove the masks, and what looks to be the hooks for the masks would go onto the horns as well, as she begins to put it down. Hey, what's up? Anything that I can help any of y'all with?
Oh, I hope so. Well, first item I'm looking for is going to decide on the second, but I'm hoping if you can direct me to a more efficient quiver that could possibly hold some more arrows for me.
No, you would need a lot more leather than what you got right there. Barla. She extends out a hand. Barla Hargek.
Helena will take her hand, and I am Helena.
Hi. Well, if you're looking for a quiver, we do some pretty basic leather work. I mean, hopefully nothing too fancy. You wouldn't also happen to just have some material with you, would you?
I don't think so. Hold on. I don't think I do.
Don't worry about it. I just wanted to know. Alright. Yeah, I could probably make you a quiver. Probably hold a couple of more arrows. Don't want to get it in too heavy. It might impede your abilities. Where are you from?
Helena will smile. I am from the Feywild.
She begins to eye you up and down. Sure. And
Then they're aliens.
Helena just keeps the smile.
And she walks over. She pulls out what looks to be a roll of heavy leather.
We need to build a wall around the Feywild.
Technically already is. The irony of it coming from a Mexican.
Yeah, I always make the joke.
That was the point.
That's the point.
Whoosh.
Another Bonnet. So as you begin to, she begins to kind of pull out some of the leather. The leather also seems to have some bad ends to it. All right, probably cost you about maybe 20 gold pieces. I got to get some more material at the end of the day.
I can do that. 20 gold is fair.
All right. Is there anything else you might be able to need?
Well, how many arrows will this be able to hold once you're done?
It should be able to get a few more. One moment, please.
I hear pupper.
Dog ran away with the roll.
Dog
It was a
sneaking.
natural 20 if the dog ran with it.
The dog's in the counter.
I'm gonna attune my spell story ring with fireball.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Pocket
no.
fire.
Oh boy.
Sorry about that. I had to deal with another customer in the back. All right, so it should be able to hold about 40 arrows in total.
I'd say that's perfect. In that case, I'll buy 20 more arrows as well.
Very well. All right. Should be able to come back at the end of the day. We'll be done. Can you turn around real quick? Just need to get your profile.
Helena tilts her head slowly. Can I insight?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I know what she's aiming at, but just for the funsies of it. That's a 12.
So, yeah, she's kind of just inspecting the entirety of your building, your body, just out of the sense
Alright.
of curiosity of making sure that she doesn't build a bad quiver.
Alright. Helena will spread her arms out and she'll just kind of do a slow turn.
All right, and as
She's T-posing.
yeah,
Yep.
full 360, and she's like, all right, I might be able to fix something. I might also try and keep the orange and purple motif with you. I got some dyes.
Appreciated.
Yeah, I got some dyes in the back. All right, come back at the end of the day. It should be done.
With the arrows, how much did that come to?
With the arrows, it comes out to about 30.
30 gold? Okay. In total. Alright. Da-da-da.
All right, so you pay up. You finish up your work here. Franz, anything else that you wanted to do? Because I know you were looking for some.
Yes, Franz is actually looking for one thing specifically, and then the extra stuff he'll need for later. He looks over at the shopkeep and he goes, "Got any bows?
Yeah, we got plenty of bows.
What's your highest quality one?"
Quality. I mean, we got some good oak. Generally speaking, got some longbows that are good oak.
I would like to inspect this oak of yours.
And she walks over and she picks off one of the 2 longbows that are currently set against the wall. Yeah, it's nothing too special.
I'll take it.
All right, that should be. And so I usually base it off of the player's handbook for basic weapons. Drum gear, longbow. That's about 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And you take it in your hand, and it feels strong but light. It's a perfect hardwood, and also it seems to have a very nice curvature to it for you. All right.
Ooh. And also, he wants a set of arrows to go along with it.
All right. 10 gold pieces is just as much as you get for how much Helena got hers. So about 20 arrows to go with it.
Okay. I hand over all 60 pieces of gold.
All right. And she pulls it back into a pouch, and you have a bow with 20 arrows.
Perfect. And that's pretty much all Franz wanted.
All right. So you guys managed having a shorter conversation with Barola, and then after which you guys leave back up to the first ring of the city. So at this point, Garu,
Yes.
you hear a voice coming not too far off from behind you. An actual verbal sound from a crowd of people. Garu, that you?
Huh? Who's there?
And as you kind of begin to look around, it's like you hear the footsteps, a very familiar sound, and also the voice is kind of familiar. Somebody from the monastery, an old friend of yours.
Wait a second. Is that? Who is it?
So, you are familiar with this person. It is an old but very kind man. known as Grandmaster Kalasan.
Grandma. He's gonna immediately go and do like a Japanese bow.
And
Grandmaster.
as you do,
What do you?
he also, you can feel the key that embodies him is almost as if it pulsates. That's almost the visual key. It's very familiar. Garu, it's good to see you, old student of mine.
What are you doing out here? I thought you were back in Yemen in the monastery.
Aye, yes. I was actually brought here on a small mission from the Emperor and decided to meet an old friend here. How have you been? I see you've made it to Al-Anon. I didn't think you'd do it so fast.
It's been amazing. I've met so many different people, and I got this. And he pulls out his gun.
Whoa!
Jesus.
Careful, careful. My goodness, I wouldn't promote using such a device, but if it is necessary to you.
Oh, normally I wouldn't. It's not for what you think, but it works way more. It works better than I expected.
Ah, I see. I see. Now that we're here, I do have a couple of fellow students along here near the Wayward Inn. Do you care for a drink? I want to hear some of your tales.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And you two lead yourselves off back to the Wayward Inn in the tavern area. We'll get to you in about a second. So,
Take your time.
Guinness.
Yes.
You find yourself in the upper rings, where there are several different areas where it looks like a slightly religious area. There is no keen eyeballs that care. You obviously brandish the symbol of Bahamut, and as you find yourself within what looks to be a slightly packed church here, where people are doing their prayers. Some being dragonborn, some being dwarven, some being humans, and then you can definitely feel this is your place. Is there anything that you would like to do here?
What I want to look for is for rooms for everyone. Hopefully we could probably get something cheaper and nicer than what's in the lower levels.
All right, and you wish to speak to the priest, I'm assuming, for this matter.
Probably be the best case.
All right. So after looking around, you find one of the young women here, actually human. As she is finishing up her prayers, she rises, and the priestess, as she begins to turn. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. My friends and I are simply passing through here for a short time. Would we be able to procure some lodgings for our short stay in Kragg?
She begins to stare at you. You seem to be a high-level individual. I'm sure I can provide some lodging, perhaps even a meal or two, but nothing beyond that. We do have various other priests and those of your particular that do pass by here as well that we still need to take care of as well.
All right, then.
Mind your name and status.
Yes, I am Canis Metilius, from the city of Arario.
I see. Please forgive me for my ignorance. I did not know someone of your status would have been here. Master Metilius, there will be plenty of lodging. How many are with you?
Simply me and 5 other companions.
All right, a place for 6. Thank you very much for gracing us. And she gives a very long bow. There are various other individuals that do recognize you in your place, and they all give a secondary bow as well. All right, so that taken care of, Canis. Gar, you
Yeah.
find yourself with Grandmaster Kalasan, as well as several individuals. There are about 3 others that you can immediately tell based off of the nature of key that are here, and they are sitting at a table with you. And the Grandmaster, he places a nice drink and also something that's to your immediate senses warm in a cup in front of you, and you hear a slight pour of a liquid. So, how has your Bakaido going, my son?
It's, well, going okay, admittedly. I haven't really found out anything yet, but it sure has been eventful.
Eventful. I'm sure.
Very much so. There was this incident being a bunch of portals and a bunch of scary guys who were surprisingly weak.
I
We ran into this really scary forest. There's a bunch of really weak witches who went down surprisingly easy.
Garu, remember our teachings.
Hmm?
There are none that are weak, only those who we can protect and those who we defeat.
Well, I didn't mean it like that. I meant literally. They don't build them like they do back at home. They have surprisingly weak bones.
Yes, always the contradiction, my son. Always so strong but unwilling to hurt those unless necessary.
Well, yeah, it's really unnecessary.
Well, as for me, we've found ourselves here under the circumstances of the Emperor trying to find both guidance and diplomacy within Al-Anon. And so,
Really?
yes, he had hoped that our monastery might have some good leaders, and I had suggested many, but it seems she was keen on sending me.
Are things unwell back home?
There have been a few concerns, and it seems like the northern states are in need of protection. There's been a recent upsurge of black market trade and beings that have decided to come out of the forest of Spiritsu, and in thus doing so have caused a great deal of grief to the people.
Well, that doesn't sound pleasant at all.
It very much isn't. And while the Emperor is doing their best in order to try and subside these situations, it was best to try and see if we can mend any misgivings from the past of Yimnan.
So, what exactly... Who are you looking for here at Al-Anon?
We had hoped to seek some of the aristocrats who had originally started an open dialogue with the Emperor, and well, there are many of our group. There are some down in Vale. There are still some in Al-Anon trying to speak with the king. My job was to come to Kragg here, and then subsequently I'll be heading to Baccarat, and then I'll be heading north to Dracovania.
Really? Wow, you seem like... That seems like quite the busy journey.
I...
Is there any way I can assist?
No. You must still complete your Bakaido first, and find your truth. My job is merely to act as a median for the Emperor, and then I will return home very shortly.
Ah, I see. He's gonna like look down at his liquid real quick. May I ask something?
Anything you need to know, my son.
Well, if you would implore me, can we spar?
You're,
I
yeah,
say
don't
it,
mind.
don't worry.
don't whisper much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whisper. Yeah, that's what it said.
I wish I had some time, but hopefully the next time we meet them. Hopefully back at home.
Oh, definitely. I don't want to accidentally kill anyone again.
Kill.
Seriously, it's a bigger problem than you think.
I'm aware that there might be necessities to your mission, so I won't pry. But I'm glad to see that you're healthy, Garu. I'm glad to see that you're doing well.
Arigato.
Anyways, we do still have a meeting later on today. I'm glad that we were able to enjoy some tea, and I'm pretty sure that those here are very glad to hear some of your stories.
Of course. Well, I guess I could talk about the tower incident. It actually just happened.
Tower incident, and so you'll start that conversation.
Fucking try.
No, that's scary. So with that, the rest of the party, as you guys are returning back to the first ring, Canis, you return, turning back over towards the tavern. River, anything else that you want to do now that you're kind of still on your own?
I still got the pan. I got the food. I got the dagger. I don't know if I need to deliver. If it's going to encumber me, I might as well deliver it to the rest of the party.
All right. So as all of you return,
I would, however, if I can make my way through certain looking people, to request if I can get some information regarding the law and how to prevent myself from getting like what is okay and what is not, and if they were to mention, I don't know, imprisonment of some sort.
Excuse me, I want to do things that are within the realm of crime. What is allowed for crime?
I want to be sure I don't step on anyone's toes, so I want to know what that is, and if necessary, to know if one of my companions gets in trouble, where can I get them? Because they tend to wander off and do stupid things. So I want to know where I will need to pick them up, like a jail or prison area.
so
Lionel just folds his arms. Learning's not stupid. You're stupid.
Meanwhile, Scar's off in
He
the
says as
distance.
he's
so
I would like to.
Scar's
I
off
would
in the
like to-
distance, swinging his gun around. And then
I
after
would
the
like
leader fell, he went boom, boom, and scared the rest of them off.
so
One of my companions
as
one of my companions is a blind man with a gun, so I want to be sure I know where to pick them up if necessary.
as you
I will-
He's just
sit
fucking
within
spinning the
tavern-
gun. He's just swinging.
As you sit within the tavern, and the tavern keeper, Bolus, is kind of passing out drinks, you do see what looks to be a couple of stone guard wardens, a couple of lone stone guard wardens, and you decide to approach one and begin to ask questions. And in doing so, so like,
I would like to persuade him to give me some information, basically.
make a persuasion check.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check to.
I'm using the big die. That's going to be a 17 total.
So. So, as you walk up to one of the stone guard wardens and begin to try and begin conversation, he's like, "I'd be more than willing to tell you if you provide a beer."
Right. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll get him. I'll buy him a beer.
And you order him a drink, and he begins to kind of chug away at it. Righto. So there are currently 3 ways in order to avoid trouble. If I were you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, don't cross an aristocrat here within Kragg. There are quite a number of them here on level 1, and then those of the upper ring. Should you try and do something like that bastard down below who tried to steal the Platinum Mall, I would suggest you wouldn't do that. Don't steal anything from
Down below? What do you mean?
The Platinum Mall is a family heirloom, a hammer that the one of the prisoners that you've probably heard around town tried to steal.
I ask down below. What does he mean?
Down below, we have the
dungeon?
Ironclad prison here within Kragg, where you will be sentenced by a judge for your crimes.
Oof. Do I need to worry if the blind guy shoots someone to go there?
There is a holding area about somewhere along the 8th ring, and then you'll be sent down below towards the prison area, which is about 2 floors below where the mine opening is at. So if your blind friend with the gun decides to fire off around here, that would be grounds for holding, and will be fined, and paperwork would be done, and then he'll be processed.
Oh no, not paperwork.
Yes, paperwork.
Oh, that's the worst. Can I leave him there then?
If that's what you want to do, he's not my friend.
Meanwhile, back at the tavern, he's just fucking spinning the gun.
You guys are at the same tavern.
Hey guys, look at these tricks I can do.
You guys technically are in the same tavern. He's just not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Explosion just goes behind River.
Oh yes, and my Glock.
Oh god.
So,
So what did this guy do? He stole a
he
heirloom?
tried to steal one of the family heirlooms from one of the aristocrats here within the city.
Oof.
Big oof.
He getting like like a hanged or something? I don't know what they do here.
About 2 years ago, a halfling walked into town, dirty as hell, dirt all over the face, and missing an eye. He had begun to talk about needing something. He was acting quite strange, speaking of a Blackbird. And then, but a few days later, he was found within Lady Platypus's estate.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, Lady what?
Lady Platypus. Rodella Aquamarine Platypus. Within her estate, and then tried to steal the maw. And thus he was arrested and persecuted, and then he's been down there ever since, but every now and again he does something strange, and we had to lock him within the Sorcerer's Warden. The Sorcerer's Ward, sorry.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No.
We don't need more people thinking that halflings are just thieves. That's
I know there are quite a number that I find are very nice individuals and very good cooks. I like,
we pride ourselves on that.
I can tell, considering that you are holding several supplies on your back.
I can explain. It's for my party.
Fair enough.
Party as in group, no as in event.
And
What about 11?
Level 11 says, speaking of which, I need to order something. But no, thank you. I'll keep an eye on them, and if they get in trouble, I know where to get them. Thank you so much. And I'm going to give you another coin for the
Alright.
trouble.
And he gives you a slight nod. And he looks at you. What was your name again? I forgot to ask.
No, River.
Kragg.
Nice to meet you, sir.
You get a nice firm hand. You hear the slight clad of the well-worked armor, and slight nods to each other, and you leave to your party. As all of you return back to the...
I see spinning the gun. Put the thing down.
What? You were here all along?
I'm gonna get you to prison if they get you for that.
Well, that doesn't sound nice.
I got us all supplies, guys, and I put all the things on the table.
All right. And as you begin to spread out the supplies for the next couple of weeks, and as all of you begin to approach, you guys notice a small group of what looks to be of monk-like individuals are leaving the building, much to what looks like the same design of Garu's outfit as well, the orange outfit with giant red beads following along his body. All right.
Well, that's not subtle. Garu, friends of yours?
Of course, they're all the way back from home in the monastery.
What is that?
All the way in Yinmen.
Yimnin.
Bless you.
All
Alright. Apparently they're here for, like, aristocratic reasons? Apparently something's going down back home, and I don't really know what. It sounds serious.
And they didn't decide to part knowledge with you as to what that problem was?
Well, they did, but I don't really understand it. It definitely sounded dire, though. Apparently they needed help from several city-states in here in Alernon.
Sad to say they probably won't be able to give much help considering the dire situation we're currently in.
Mm-hmm.
The entire place is going down to shite.
Well, I hope it all works out. At least I hope.
And at this point, you see an elderly dwarven woman as she begins to walk up. It's like, all right, so anything that I can order? Oh yeah.
I'll get the biggest platter of meat and cheese you have.
Right on, right away. Anyone else?
Anything that isn't travel rations, since that's all I've had for the past half of a
2 meat
month.
platters then.
I'll take some more tea, please.
I didn't bring tea.
Oh,
You're.
well, can I have some tea then?
I'll see what we got.
Can I have an ale?
No.
So she looks at you.
Lionel looks over at Canis. What do you mean, no?
You're not old enough for that.
I'm 7!
Yeah, you're not old enough for that.
I'll have you. Oh, Lionel like snaps his fingers, like, oh, that's right. I'm technically 20 to human year.
She begins to make a persuasion check.
He's an adult. Look at him.
She's gonna need to see your ID, mister.
Look at him with his tiny hands.
What do I
Make
need
a
to roll?
persuasion check, considering you are the equivalent of a child asking for beer.
Oh, come on.
You look like a child. Look at how
It's good to know, I have fucking baby face syndrome when I go to a casino in this fucking world.
This might
want to
pop
say-
up
I
as
want
a
to say one
problem
thing.
later.
I want to say one thing. Was the age of consent to drink beer in the Dwarven years like 2?
No, they do have a
30.
minimum standard of 14.
Oh, come on, but it's a possum. This thing's.
Listen, if you were 3 possums in a trench coat, you could pass. But this is
This
not
is
the
one
case.
possum in fucking Yimnin outfit.
Persuasion of 15.
All right, what was the persuasion? 15.
15.
I'm not familiar with your people, and I'm not.
I can vouch for him. He's an adult.
All right, 1 ale.
I'll get any non-alcoholic beverage you have.
Water.
We think I'd be asking for a keg.
Water will do.
All right.
Got any
No.
soup?
No. We got meats and cheeses and potatoes.
Give me the biggest.
Kragg eats a raw
potato.
potato whole.
Yeah, that's actually what he wants to do.
Wait.
He's just like, I'll take a potato.
Like, just a potato, or
I want the whole potato.
understand? I understand. All right. Well. Well. All right. Anybody else?
I'll have a wine and whatever food you feel like serving.
Yeah,
meat platters.
I'll just stick to what's getting on there. As long as I get
Can
my
I have
fucking
two?
ale. What?
Can I have 2, please?
All right. 4 meat platters. 5 meat platter. I'll just bring 6. All right, and she leaves off, and you guys are returned with a various meat platters of what smells like really good briskets, roasted chickens, and an unbelievable amount of cheese. Especially by your own orders, River, more cheese than normal.
Yes. I just
Monster Hunter platter.
I just keep Goku eat this shit.
Oh my goodness.
I can imagine the day that River invents the cheese pizza.
I'm on it.
We all have our goals.
All right.
That's the real campaign. Fuck the entirety main story. Let's invent pizza,
All right,
guys.
so all of you have your drinks. You have your foods. You guys spend the next hour or so consuming.
While we're eating and all, just casually, yes, there's noise in the tavern and all. I'll just like kind of nudge to Kanos and ask, all right, Kanos, what do you know about the platypus family?
Pardon me, the what?
The platypus. Platypus.
Yoro, how much would I know about them?
Make a history.
Yarrow?
Garrett?
Yoro?
Yeah,
Still
I'm
there?
still here.
Is he in the shadow?
Are you alive?
I think he's dead.
Uh-oh.
Maybe the platypuses get you.
Uh-oh. Yeah, my stream just froze.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
boy.
I am dropping
Uh-oh.
frames like a motherfucker.
Uh-oh.
Son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Cheese killed them.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
It was
Too much
cheese.
cheese.
You
Oh,
piled
wait.
too much on.
The platypus. Platepus.
Yeah.
No, we're calling it the platypus.
Yeah.
Fine.
No, that ship's already fucking sailed, man.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, we all misheard it as the platypus family, and it's kind
Yep.
of stuck there.
Okay.
And this is how
That's gonna be really frustrating if you have to meet that person. All right.
Correct.
Yarrow, if
poor
there is
family.
not at least one family member named Perry, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
So I don't know how far you asked that while we are eating, River is nudging Kanos and asking him what he knows about the platypus or platypus family.
Okay, so so the last thing that happened is that I need you to make a history check with advantage on this family based off of aristocrats and those of being of a higher status.
Alrighty then.
Also, something I haven't noted to the chat, which hey, we're back. I'm sorry about that. Internet went out for some strange reason. Something to note. We have emotes now for Twitch people. We also have loyalty badges as well. So, interested in
Yeah.
that? If you're interested, please
Nice.
be a subscriber. Be a subscriber. Helps the stream. All right. So, what's your history check?
I rolled a 15 on the history check.
15. Okay. So, as far as you know, this is one of the higher level. This is one of the top 3 families of platinum miners. In which they also one of the 3 families that own a majority of the mines here, and it was kind of broken up from the main family that was around here about 100 years ago. So the back and forth dialogue with them has never been negative, but it hasn't always been positive either. They kind of control the metal that is used for money, and so that's the reason why they're so high up. Um,
So they own a whole lot of mines, and they're more or less in charge of the minting process.
exactly.
Hmm.
And so when countries need to mint their cash, and they need metal for it, they go to these families in order to purchase it and then mint it. It's not a general one-to-one because they still have to pay for the labor costs and also pay for the miners and also the dyes that they develop in order to make the mint for this metal, and also try not to waste any of the metal as well, which is a very uneasy process for a lot of people. There's very few people that are capable of doing it in this day and age.
I'll relay that to River.
Do you know anything about the silver building? What was it again, Yarrow?
It was a platinum mall.
Platinum Mall.
Maul. Mall.
Why do you have so much interest in this family all of a sudden?
Can you repeat M-A what?
M-A-U-L.
Maul. M-A-U-L.
Like
Oh,
like the
Like a
weapon.
hammer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like a giant sledgehammer.
So, can I make sure no one is listening in? Like, there's noise in the tavern, people drinking, people walking around.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of Stoneguard Warden off to the other side, kind of, being dwarves with their drinks. There's about a few stray individuals, a couple of other dwarves, a couple of elven individuals. There's somebody that is just over at the bar, just finally ordering his food and drink, and the people that are just coming and going. So as far as you can tell, there's probably nobody that's paying attention right now.
Would I need to make a check just to make sure, or
If
am
you-
I secure?
If you wanna make a pass, if you wanna go something higher than your passive, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Perception?
Yes.
Big die, big die. Oh, fuck yeah. 19, 20, 21.
21. There's nobody that's kind of paying too much attention to your group. You are an odd people coming to a town where it's mostly dwarves here.
Why are they letting the pet drink?
It's had a rough road to hoe.
And also like specifically, eyeballs are only based off of Lionel and you and Helena. As for everyone else, it seems like they've probably seen these people before, but you guys are a rarity.
But just curious eye, not curious ears.
Curious ears.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, listeners.
There's nobody listening that you can tell.
Okay. So I ask again, kind of, do you know anything about a Platinum Mall?
Why are you so interested in learning about this family?
I heard words around of one of my people halfling causing trouble, trying to mess with that family, and that carries on to other halflings. Just trying to be sure, and I'm very concerned about that. And that just caught my attention regarding the whole silver thing, the platinum thing, and the platinum dragon. I figure you might know something.
Would I know anything about that, Yarrow? Or is that more a that dwarven family kind of thing?
Under from your, what was your check again? What was that check?
I got a 15 on the history.
15. You're very aware of the Platinum Mall. The family used it as a ceremonial piece. The family is kind of connected to Bahamut in one way or another, comparative to those who are the other two families, which are connected to the Allhammer. This family used it with the other two families in order to kind of christen the mines, and it was blessed, and it was also used as a ritual device at one point, and that's why it's so precious to them. Uh, it's a very well kept piece of history,
So it's more of an art piece and a historical thing than anything else.
yeah. Platinum isn't really well used as a weapon. It's the metal is too pure. It's too soft, and it doesn't do well unless it's mixed with other metals.
It has some ceremonial significance to the family as well as for the town here. Probably the reason why it was wanting to be stolen.
Once we're done here in the tavern, did you get any rooms for us?
Yes, we'll be going up to the Church of Bahamut.
Very well. We can talk more there.
All right then.
Yeah.
How is everyone holding their liquor at the table?
That is a great question.
That's
How
a
many
good question.
drinks has everyone had?
I have just sipped a glass of wine. That's what
has-
she's been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kara has none because he is a pure boy.
Canis has had
Lionel
milk.
Lionel probably had like a third of his drink.
Bones.
Franz has not drank because I'm pretty sure the party won't let him after last time, so he's just kind of having his baked potato.
I mean, no one has told you anything about it.
He's not taking any chances, so he's just gnawing on his potato.
Yeah,
He's just staring at his potato instead.
very
I'll get him a drink. It's
good.
one.
Just one drink, one ale. And yeah, you guys find yourselves holding your liquor relatively well, considering that you didn't have enough to that constitutes a constitution.
I had water.
I'd imagine one drink isn't gonna fucking floor you.
Yeah. It's dwarven ale. It's really, really good ale, but it's not ale that's gonna put you on your ass.
Yeah, I didn't ask for a special appearing. That's alcohol.
I just let the group know I need to talk to them in private later. So
All
when
right.
we're done here.
All right. So
Lionel just shrugs. He's like, "Listen, I understand secrecy when it needs to be secret at this point, but can we talk about things that are a little bit more joyous and maybe a little bit more open?" I'm so
We'll-
tired. No, Lionel, stop. Like, looks to River. So fucking tired of secrets. I had to say a swear. That's how important it feels to me.
I know. I want to be
That is
honest with you
important.
guys, but not here.
Well,
You have,
alright.
you have my word.
Lionel just cups his face. God.
Have patience. It's going to happen.
all right. So all of you complete your meals, your drinks. You prepare and move out and head up to the upper second ring, and you find yourselves within the church floors. It seems like people have dispersed since then, as it is getting closer towards the night. You see the original priestess Canis as she gives a very polite bow. I'm glad that you were able to return, and I see that you've brought your friends, some very interesting ones as well. Your rooms have been prepared, the linen's changed, and is there anything else that we might be able to provide you for your lodging for the night?
He'll look back to the rest of the group. Would you like anything?
Midnight snack.
Will we be able to provide that?
No, I'm certain the lodgings will be fine.
I think I'll be fine as well.
Very
It'll be
well.
fine.
Mhm.
How fluffy are your pillows?
Quite fluffy.
I can make them fluffier. He starts punching them.
Oh no! I killed the pillow.
There's just
Oh,
a
no.
pillow in
He
the middle
pistol
of this
whips a
cathedral. So, all right, and she leads you all to the lodging area, towards beyond the cathedral on a second floor towards the back end of the mountain. And you guys feel, as you get closer towards the end, it does feel relatively warm and inviting here. It's almost as if both the presence of being within Canis is kind of like almost being within Spirit Guardian, and being blessed and being protected here.
This place is cursed. No. As soon as we, is it like a one room for everyone, or a separate rooms, or what's up?
As far as this woman was aware that there was going to be lodging of 6 people, there is a one large room for all of you.
As soon as we get to that room, just thank the person, wait for them to leave, and I request from all of you to secure the perimeter.
Helena just arches her eyebrow at River, and she'll just shrug, and she'll just kind of go over the room and just check for traps, quote unquote. She's not trying very hard.
I was about to say Lionel does like a fucking like Pez dispenser mouth to the sky Muppet groan as he like fucking pulls the shades over on the window. Haphazardly, he's just like, oh, this fucking shit again. All right.
Never mind, there
Yep.
are
George is touching stuff all around, knocking stuff down.
the immediate room is made of marble and cobblestone. There are no windows, but very well lit torches that can be put out at any point in time if you wish to. The beds are made of a stone frame, but also very nice bedding and what look to be fresh and very nice linen. It doesn't have that deep musky smell as to those of you who are familiar on going to the lower areas, but it does have a slight bright earthy smell, like almost as if you're walking out to a field of freshly cut grass.
Lionel press the way into the torches you want.
What?
I said Lionel. I was about to say like for River. I was like Lionel has presentation, so if we had to shut lights off or anything, there's that.
Okay.
Just want to be sure there are no prying ears. That's all I want to make sure. That's all. If we need to make rolls for it or anything, I'll be happy to.
As far as you guys know, this is
Towel
probably as safe as it will ever be. You guys are well within your rights
Wait,
to
we'll make it
privacy.
extra safe. We'll fucking Atlantic City this. Lionel put some towels underneath the door. There, now we're safe. We're all ears now.
Alright.
Everyone in a circle.
What?
We are going to have a little bit of a meeting now. It's been 2 weeks. It's been over a month, even almost 2 months. And we seem to be going to be stick together for a while. We need to fix some stuff here. You too. She points at Franz and Lionel. You have your thing. We need to stop being bitter at each other. And I know I'm the cause of some of that stress for you, Lionel. But going forward as to what we are encountering and the things that I'm seeing and that I don't seem to be able to dodge for some fatal reason. Like there's a higher power over there that's trying to force me into this. We need to be a team, and we cannot afford to be bitter with each other.
Bitter. I don't know who's being bitter.
That sounds like someone who's bitter.
I'm afraid I must agree with Garu. And your comment in the cart did sound rather personal, if I may say.
Not that good at conveying emotions.
Willikers, I can't fucking believe it.
Maybe you should try smiling.
I am.
I'm smiling for like the whole fucking start of this trip. You just can't see it.
Covered by a beard.
Well, I can feel it.
This shaven man, by the way, since he shaved his beard on his way here.
That's so weird.
Oh god, he's still got fucking baby face.
Yeah.
He looks less wise now.
I can assume it is currently Terrence's picture on Discord right now.
So here's the thing.
God, that's a little frightening. You just wake up and it's like everybody wakes up in the morning and all they see is just this.
France. No, friends.
Yes.
I know you have your personal thing that you are trying to keep to yourself, and I did the same thing to you. But again, we need to form the team, and in order to build this trust, and she's going to summon Sanctuary, this spectral dragon-like figure coming from her back.
As
Oh.
to any of you that can say, I'm excluding Garu in this situation, obviously.
Wouldn't Garu be able
Gee,
to see the aura?
thanks.
I mean, Garu, from your perspective, you've always been able to kind of sense the magical energy of the world, especially when spells are cast, just based off ki. The immediate area, as you feel sanctuary, and you begin to perceive almost like a highly saturated, highly blurred figure of this purple like dragon as it begins to arise from the area in which your friend River stems from. It's strange, but inviting, almost protective, almost as if the layer here is very much within the same realm from your friend. And as for all of you, you guys begin to see what looks to be a spectral purple dragon, unthreatening. And
It's purple?
It's purple.
Hmm?
It's purple. Yeah.
I always thought it's like spectral white. Well, okay.
It is due to the nature of it.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay.
As it begins to kind of preside and almost as if watch over River.
This is Sanctuary. You saw it a month ago. It gave me the ability to bring Canis from almost the unconscious state, and it provides other kind of abilities and divine magic, and it's going to disappear.
I honestly don't see why that was so in dire need to be hidden. Magic is something. Magic is just something that you're capable of doing so, and I mean.
Not like this, Lionel. This is not something you learn. This is not something you agree to. This is something you are born with.
Are you a sorcerer?
Not entirely. Not really. It's not something you can master for that. My mother tries to hide it from me, but I believe this is the reason my entire town where I used to live was destroyed.
So you think that this mercenary company was looking for you?
That is correct.
But why specifically this magic?
I had
Why?
a nightmare when we met of serpentine figures and voices claiming to get what is in my back. And she's going to pull some of her armor and the I don't know what to call it. It was
Shawl?
yeah, shawl to reveal part of her back, be below her neck and the upper back. She has this mark. Somehow straightened. Something slightly medium size, like almost covering part between her shoulder blades. Of multiple lines in her cane.
It looks like a draconic tattoo, almost even like a birthmark. It wasn't just placed there. It looks like it's been there from the very beginning.
Are they written in Draconic?
The particular lines, as to anyone that can read in Draconic,
would be Canis, since Garu is blind.
I can
Exactly.
I can cast comprehend language.
That is something that you guys would like to do.
Hello?
Oh,
It's
did
been
it have
quiet.
to
Did
get-
it die again?
Oh no!
Oh,
God,
no.
man.
It
No.
keeps happening!
God damn it!
Damn it!
No!
Son of a bitch!
I can't wait for everyone to just turn around back to fucking Lionel and Franz, and Lionel's just sitting there just like, man, I just hate my oldest brother. Like, that's my biggest beef I have. Everyone else is more dire than me.
So,
Franz is.
I mean, my
gonna-
life
you're-
has been okay
So-
up until the last 2 months.
upon the,
You have been doing
I'm just
great.
very lost.
to anyone that wants to read it, there are two languages: Primordial and Draconic.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
it,
Jesus.
the mark is based off of the languages. It's kind of old. In Draconic, there's mostly normal words. However, in Primordial, there are only singular words. So, to anyone that do you guys understand both languages? Is the question.
Well, with comprehend language, couldn't that work, or is that wrong?
That will work.
So I can read off the primordial bit, but and Canis can read off the draconic bit.
Alright.
Okay. So, with your guys' combined abilities, the 6 lines that read.
Dig whoever read this.
The Luxel Dawn, the fire of Ignis will burn. In Aqua we trust, in Nox we fear. Terra will remain our guard, and Ventus our breath and soul. And those are the 6 lines. So, the singular words seem to be almost like the Latin words for light, darkness, earth, wind, water, fire. And
There's a 7th line here. Long ago, the nations lived in harmony.
Get out of here with that.
I am the avatar.
It seems to speak of, and especially since it's in Primordial and Draconic, it seems to speak of that of the original 6 primordial dragons that created the gods within this universe, and then subsequently locked themselves away as guides and wisdom within their own realms, which, as all of you would kind of comprehend, there are currently 4 enclaves that protect those gates. The 4 enclaves protect the 4 gates of the primordial elemental dragons, in which they act as the first guard to kind of keep people away in order to seek wisdom from those who should not have it.
Me and my mother call it the mark of healing.
This only proves that your mother has some kind of has some high source of knowledge or something that could somewhat pierce the gates, or something the enclaves would die to get their hands on. You wouldn't
That's
happen to know
something
anything
that
like that?
mercenary company would want to have.
I don't know. I know just as much as you at the moment. I only know that I was born with this. It grants me abilities to heal and protect people, and that there's people out there who want it. And this is the reason I've been lying to you. I need to prevent people from knowing this is with me. And I apologize for lying to you guys. Especially to you, Franz, when you asked me straight up what it was. I just needed to be sure I could trust you.
He doesn't
This is
say
not-
anything. He just nods.
This is not something I can go around letting people know. She's going to cover herself. And there's my truth.
Lionel is scribbling in his book.
Helena just peers over his shoulder to see what he's scribbling.
Like, do you try and cover it, Lionel?
Yes.
Helena, make a perception check to see if you can catch anything.
Crap. Let's see. Perception, you said 21.
I'm gonna say this will be a challenge up against the dexterity because you would probably know. So, Lionel, make a dexterity check to kind of sleight of hand your way from Helena.
I have no deck, so it's flat 15.
15. Helena, you probably caught whatever Lionel was kind of riding away. So, Lionel, whatever she might have caught, it's up to you.
She just finds that there's a big fucking shopping list of magical artifacts that most people normally should have no business in collecting.
Okay. It's
So that all that information was added to those notes.
all right. Good to know.
Well, I share mine. I would like to know if we can fix this group, friends. Lionel?
Lionel just looks left and right after, like, shutting his book. I just hate my brother for abandoning me. I don't know how simpler I can make that.
Thought it was all your siblings.
He pretty much ringleadered them to leave. For what reason, I don't know. My hatred isn't with any of the rest of my family. My hatred is just lies solely on Roland.
Was he trying to rope you into leaving as well?
No. I was left behind.
So you're not mad at him for leaving, you're mad at him for not taking you?
If you wish to put it that way, then yes. The family was supposed to stay together. Even if we traveled or if we stayed, we were nomadic, and they were the ones that diverged and broke away. Kind of hard to take that.
Do you have any idea where they went?
I did years ago, but at this point they probably have wandered off elsewhere that I don't know where they are at this point.
What
They're
were they
tr-
trying
they're they're a traveling band. They're a traveling band.
Ah,
Roland was just a bard, and all of us had some kind of musical inclination at some point. It was something we did along the side when the family wasn't able to keep up interest, or at least to keep up money with leatherworking and cobbling like my mother and father could. So my brother thought it would be nice to be entertainers, get some fun out of it, and also bring the family together on something. And I guess all of them just decided that I didn't make the cut and left, or at least that's what I feel like it is.
Did you ever ask?
They just up and left one night. I don't know why they left.
Franz takes a very deep inhale and then he exhales. I have a question for you, Lionel.
Lionel just looks at him. Okay.
Tell me, what do you think is thicker, a bond or blood?
Blood can be thick, but it also can corrode. A bond is way more important than blood.
Exactly. You may not like what your brother did. You may possibly hate what your brother did. The thing is, you can still salvage that family you have, that bloodline. I can't do that. I have no one in my family left. Everything I know is gone. My mother left. My father committed suicide when I was 11. I only know what's in front of me, and that's it. My life has no past. I don't get to have a past like most people. I don't get to have a life for happy memories to look back, because when you're at such a young age and you can't take in a lot of things that are happening around you or comprehend them, you just run away. So when you told me that you ran away from your family, or that you chose to leave your mom and dad, it did something to me, because at least you can still see them. Me, I can't do that. So forgive me if I was out of line.
You're right, I don't understand. And I never will. Unfortunately, our stories are very vastly different. I have the means to put together my family, whereas you can't. But I cannot sit here and pretend that my situation doesn't have any sort of selfish gain or any sort of honorable memory. It's just a story. I have very small time on this earth, unlike you. You have more of a chance to make something more of your life. I'm dead in the next 20 years. I need to make this life count, and I can't let anything stop me.
But are you making your life count for you? Or are you trying to make it count for someone else, like your family? You seem to have been doing this for more or less your family than yourself.
Lido holds up his book and smiles. Are you fucking kidding? This entire trip has been nothing but a gold mine for me. Traveling around with a bunch of crazy maniacs and finding cool things to find? This piece of equipment I found in a night hag's coven? Where else could I get that by myself? This is both pleasure and it's professionalism. And that's the best way I can see it moving forward.
I see.
To make this life worth it, sometimes, even though my job makes me look at things logically, I always have to look at the silver lining. Or else, what the hell am I doing with this life that I have?
Well, your story may not be like any of ours, nor mine. Your purposes for what you're doing, vastly different from everyone else. But one thing I would like to have, Lionel, is, as much as it pains me to say it, you going back and frightening me with magic because it felt genuine in terms of friendship, something I haven't had with anything that doesn't growl at me every time I see it.
Lionel holds his hand out for a shake.
Franz takes his significantly bigger hand.
Cast polymorph.
Oh.
On Franz.
Huh?
I cast
Oh.
polymorph on Franz. I turn him into a possum.
Who still has a giant beard.
Franz.
Of course.
Franz, do you resist the magic or do you let it happen?
You know, technically he could just turn into a possum himself, but okay, he'll just let this polymorph
No, fuck
happen.
it. I'll turn him into an Opsu.
Okay. All right. So Franz, you turn into a bearded Opsu because by Lionel's decision, you're much more recognizable with a beard. And you stand.
I wait for the reaction.
It's like Franz is just like, why are you suddenly the same? Why are you suddenly at eye level with me? Wait, he like starts touching himself.
You go.
Helena, wait,
You're
let's
an
auto-
off.
Is he freaking out?
Yeah,
Cool.
he's freaking out. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait a minute for him to like just have a fucking screaming session, and then snap my fingers and turn him back.
All right.
He screams so much that he actually goes catatonic and just
Like an extra puzzle.
So then now when I return him, he's sitting in the middle of the floor in a fetal position with his mouth open and drooling.
So Bracky, that photo that she did in the Discord, we now need Franz's body.
Hell yeah.
Lionel just shrugs his shoulders and just smiles. There. We're back to normal then. Looks back to River.
Well, that's really heartwarming. Now for the serious part. I need to break into prison.
What?
I'm sorry.
Excuse
What?
me?
What?
Wait a second.
Lionel
That's
goes
illegal.
catatonic.
Is there something you're not telling us, River?
I'm just about to tell you. There's someone in prison right now in this city that tried to steal from the platypus, platypus, whatever they're called, family. That was they were part of my town. I want to know what they know.
Why would they be stealing a heirloom from an aristocrat other than just monetary gain?
Someone that everyone in my town is dead except for me and my mom.
It is a good question. Didn't Canis say that it was for
Rituals and
rituals? Yes.
Mhm.
There you go. What kind of ritual?
Person of yours know necromancy?
It's more complicated than that, but none of you are aware of what kind of rituals. I don't even think the House of
yeah,
Metilius.
we're just talking like
Yeah.
speculating.
House
I
of
doubt
Metilius
it would be.
Yeah, they're unaware. Like, you know what your vault full of shit does. You're just not aware of anybody else's.
That'd be what I'd be inclined to think. If it's for rituals, then that's probably what it's for. I doubt that anybody would do something so risky just for gold.
Lionel flips through his books. Starts reading one of the pages he wrote on. Shuts his book. If not for the sake of being curious, I would say I want it out. But now that there are rituals involved, I want to know what's going on.
I want to know if I know I said I want to break in, but that's the first thing I thought. But if we can get some kind of influence meeting or like if we can come up with a story for people to see him.
Helena just reaches over and pats Canis's cheek. I think we've got somebody important right here, do we not?
Is there any way you can pretend that they tried to do something to your family? Any kind of ongoing investigation of some sort?
I'm unsure if I'd be able to swing that. But how much do you think this city knows about halflings in general?
Not much. As far as I know, one of the guards I talked to, they say they know that we are mostly, what you say, harmless.
Lionel holds his hand up like there's a bird on there. Summon. I'm gonna cast fucking what was the spell I had? Yep, here it is.
Familiars.
Yep, I'm gonna summon Flock of Familiars.
Ooh.
As three rather large crows now perch on his arm.
All right, and there are 3 Blackbird crows as they are stationed on your arm.
We could do the subterfuge way.
What do you mean?
Well, technically, I can't believe I'm Lionel just kind of like pinches his face, just like, I can't believe I'm about to suggest this, but Lionel strips himself and he has no clothes on.
Nope.
I don't look any different than any other possum, do you believe?
Besides size,
You're
He's just
you're
he's
about
just particularly fluffy.
you're about 2 to 3 times bigger than a regular possum, but yeah.
There are dire rats in this world.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
he's
is.
he's a very large rat.
Do you honestly think schlub guards in a fucking prison are gonna give a shit about a rat?
No, they'll think, holy shit, that's a big rat.
That's a big rat.
Well, it's not a bad idea to keep in our back pockets. Although I do think we should try to do it the way of diplomacy first.
Oh, good.
So
Do you
much
know
all
they have
about-
visitation rights?
And maybe pass off River as a relative of his.
It's worth a shot.
I don't think that's a good idea, considering that where he's from and where I'm from. If you talk about a relative, might be a little dangerous. Again,
Well,
entire town.
well,
dead.
the guards don't know that, do they? Helena just kind of has a little bit of a Grinch smile going on.
The story of Low Bandle, as far as I know, even Canis know that the place was destroyed.
Well, then don't mention Lobandel.
The thing is, the guards seem to know who he is, though.
How much information were you able to get out of this guard? Perhaps the name of this halfling you're looking for?
I just know that his name is Leroy. But the way they describe him sounds way too familiar.
What significance do you think he'll hold?
Any knowledge as to what happened? If he saw anything, anyone, for someone to be a survivor, maybe they know what happened. Worst case scenario, they work for the people who destroyed the place, and that's why they're still alive and are stealing heirlooms that create rituals. I don't know.
Well, at first we should at least attempt to ask them if you could pay him a visit.
I agree. And if that doesn't work, then we can get a little more creative about it.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Yes, because I hate degrading myself without wearing clothing.
I'm sorry, but what changed?
Not much. Just lost the shirt.
Oh. Why'd you take it off?
Perfect disguise, Garu.
One of the crows lands on his horn.
What if I say this? What if I say I'm his sister-in-law and my sister has been looking for him?
That could work.
We could try it. I don't see why not.
Say for a
That's-
plan B, if that doesn't work, I could probably get some influence out of this Platypus family. Maybe have them arrange us a visit with this lad.
Do you know how long he's been inside that prison?
2 years, I believe.
Yep, you were told he was caught 2 years ago.
Okay, so not long enough to make his mind go gray.
So we can take care of this tomorrow.
It's gonna
I
be an
agree.
even worse idea. Lionel just like shrugs, but then looks at everyone. Do we know how much his bail would be? He'd be way more inclined to talk if we actually swung him out.
That's a good question.
Well,
but
here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. We don't know if him being in prison. We don't know if he might be a legitimate threat. I doubt it, considering it's just thievery. But
would we know if there's for attempting to steal something from a noble? Is there a fee?
He got on the wrong side of an aristocrat family who is also one of the most powerful families in this city. I don't think bail is an option for him.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. I mean, we're gonna be asking tomorrow anyway. It's worth a
True.
shot.
Worst the worst that they'll say is no.
And if he's that true of a threat, Lionel just holds up his ring and like fondles a fucking giant fireball in his hand.
Where did you get that?
Don't
From
worry
a
about it.
crazy old dwarf.
Please put that away.
I'll be honest, I don't want people to know that I'm going to look for him, though.
Try to keep it as subtle as possible. But if we need information, yeah, we'll
Is
just
there any
lie.
Is there any way that I can Lion, can you turn me into a mouse or something and be carried there?
Lionel
You
like
know I can-
wiggles. But you could both go as well. But Lionel just like when she goes, "Can you change me?" Lionel holds up his fingers and wiggles them.
Jesus.
All right. So with that, you guys, as you begin to continue on your planning throughout the night,
Mhm.
you find yourselves weary and tired, and thus you finally find yourselves sleeping and resting for the night. From what you guys can immediately tell through your biological clocks, you feel like it is beginning of the daytime for all of you. As you begin to rise one by one, and you are met with a very polite but light bread and cheese meal here in the cathedral.
Wait a minute. I'm just wondering something. Why are they talking about him out loud after 2 years of this?
Unsure.
You are told that he has been a constant problem, and he's kind of like the kicking stone of the Ironclad ward, mainly because he is down in the sorcerer's block, which is, you were told this, he was locked down in the sorcerer's block, because he's been increasingly more dangerous, and the guards have been concerned, but also kind of think it's funny as well.
Is there any way that we can like I don't know, we have orders of taking him back to Orari or something, like under your family?
There is such thing as forging documents.
Could swing that.
Yeah, like he's been like you've been
You
looking
guys
for him for years.
Have a rogue.
We have a rogue.
Ooh.
Can we do this? This will be much easier.
Hmm.
Like we've been looking for him for like 5 years, and now we just received what he's here.
Let me see. Caitlin, you know the class better than I would at this point. But
I would, but I think for forgery you actually need. Do you not?
need
Need
what?
Need what?
You need what?
A forger's kit?
Let's see.
I think that's actually a thing.
Well, we could just go buy one.
A calligraphy kit.
I have that.
Asterisk.
Oh wait, no, I don't. I don't have that. I have I have leatherworking tools.
And that's not that difficult because it's technically being done by
Okay,
Canis.
it does. Let's see.
We can use it like a. Do you have a ring with your family emblem, and you would just wax that shit? Boom.
I think he does, yeah.
Gyro has a calligraphy kit.
Oh yeah, he does.
It technically.
Yeah, he's got a signet ring.
Paints
Okay,
on the
so
walls.
it does technically only use these tools. I'm trying to remember what level it was.
Your mom,
Oh, if it just takes these tools, that I'm covered with then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we can get some wax and get the sigil done. We can actually make just a wrist.
Dude, it's
We can just
forgery.
forge a warrant and use Canis's signature because he's actually part of the family that we're forging the warrant for.
Done.
It's a foolish strategy.
There is such a thing as a forgery kit. I'm looking in the right now.
I'm unsure if we actually have to forge it, because again, Canis could just sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look at that.
Okay. So if you guys wish to make this document,
Yeah, whatever be possible.
Well, Helena holds her hand up. What
Okay.
are we going to do when we take him, if we do this?
Interrogation. I'll leave that to
That's
me.
fine, after that.
We can't exactly just let him go.
We just take him to another jail?
This man is imprisoned for very dangerous magic, supposedly. We don't know how well equipped other people will be.
I think if he becomes a problem, we can take him.
If there's anything I've been learning, I've been noticing a pattern between places every time I go somewhere, anywhere magical, from city to city. It's that wizards, sorcerers, warlocks, anyone who is arcane is willing to make trades for arcane, for knowledge. Maybe there's a way we can do that with this fellow as well.
Here's my proposal. We go, we ask if they have visitation rights. Hopefully they won't ask anything too closely. If they say no, Canis can say that we will get written documents and written permission. We can get those, and Helena air quotes, permissions, if we so choose, and we can interrogate him that way. Or we can sneak in, or Lionel can go in as an animal as well as Helena and Franz.
Franz raises his hand, and he just looks at the entire party. He's like, "We also have option D if something goes wrong."
And what would
And
that
then he
be?
just, I can cast Charm Person.
That works very
Well-
nicely too.
It'll last for 1 hour for each individual I do it with, but again, I only have a limited resources to do it to each person.
That's also illegal.
Plan E, you guys watch as Lionel assumes the position and wiggles his fingers and mouths skedaddle skadoodle.
We will try to prevent as much as possible trying to cast incantation to the guards as to not get in trouble.
Indeed, we're going into a sorcerer's ward. We don't know if you'll be able to cast magic.
And it's illegal.
Let's
And
go take a
that.
look. Let's go see.
Let's
Alright.
take the simple way first.
All right.
River
so-
will, however,
Lionel catatonic faces hearing that you can't cast magic. Oh,
just for now, and River will not be wearing her armor and her normal, so she's going to pull out her common clothes and let her hair loose.
Okay.
She has common clothes.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Whoa.
All right.
What?
So you kind of let yourself relax, River. So at this point, you guys, after giving thanks to the priestess and leaving down to the first floor, you find yourself back at the Stone Guard Wardens, basically their police house. To which you are met with quite a number of Stone Guard Warden finishing up some paperwork, putting on their armor, getting ready to go out for the day. You meet one that you had met the other yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, it's early in the morning to see all of you again. What was your name again? A lot of you." Dynamic Entry Incorporated or something like.
This,
I
this,
believe.
this being the first time Helena's heard it, she just bursts out laughing.
What's a temporary name?
I think it sounds great.
I love it.
Hey. So, you managed to bag a bounty and you're back here for what?
We were hoping, or wondering rather, are there visitation rights for the prison? And Helena bats her eyes at him.
Curious question. What for?
We were hoping, we've heard about a certain prisoner, a halfling lad. We were hoping we could speak to him.
Are they of immediate blood?
Not entirely. It's my sister's ex-husband. Well, I don't know if they are having issues. We've been looking for him for years.
Family.
Hmm. I just want to know what he's doing here and all of that, and I would like to roll a persuasion check to see if it's necessary.
Oh boy, here we go.
So,
I honestly hate the guy, but my sister's been looking for him.
is there a... If it's for a familiar reason, I can imagine divorce documents and whatnot. If you need to clarify if he does exist, I can say
How please don't-
you
will
and
you please
only
don't deal with
you are
those?
allowed down in the Ironclad.
What do you say?
You and only you would be allowed down into the Ironclad if you are the immediate family of this individual.
I will take that. I just need to see how he's doing and ask him what his bomb ass been doing down here.
Ah. Well then, allow me to reserve some paperwork. As for the rest of you, is there anything else I can do?
We're simply accompanying our friend here.
Right. Well, she will be the only one that'll be allowed down there. But if you're okay with that.
I nod to the group.
Very well.
Very well. And you see as the guard begins to pull out the paperwork, and he pulls you aside, River, and he points towards what looks to be a circle in the room. I just need to clarify if you're telling the truth.
Oh yeah!
Oh,
no! He needs to clarify if you're telling the truth.
How?
Oh boy.
Step within the circle.
Sleight of hand counter spell.
Step in the circle.
Make a sleight of hand check with
Oh,
disadvantage because there
Oh.
are guards in this building.
Helena, wink at them. Good. No, can I plead to him? Like, please, sir, I don't have time for it. I don't even care about the guy. I just need to see why he's here and leave. Can I do anything? Roll or
He holds his hand up.
I don't
There
have
are
time for this, sir.
procedures.
Helena will assist Lionel in distracting, and she'll just like and she'll just like grab her stomach, and she'll just like flap over.
Make a deception check. You make a
Okay.
deception check first.
Okay, that's not stuff.
Can you help a tiny little gal?
That is a 17.
17. As you grab your stomach and you go, a whole bunch of, a majority of the guard begins to look over and they see you. And they see you as they all begin to kind of walk over because you're a very nice individual that they've never met before, but this group helped out. And they're beginning to pay attention towards you. So, Lionel, I'm going to say you do have advantage, so it's a straight sleight of hand roll.
Please,
Straight.
please.
Yo, a 19!
Yeah!
Yo!
All right,
I don't
so
have any other bonus.
as you see, no eyes are on you. With a flick of your finger and a little mutter under your breath, and you go, and you see as it reaches the circle, as it begins to glow, it dulls over just a bit, and it goes, and you can tell it's probably being disturbed at the very moment. So the circle of truth, as far as you guys know, doesn't work. So, Bracky,
As
as
far
you
as we
step
know.
in, Bracky, as you step in. So
He's my sister's husband, quote unquote ex-husband. She keeps saying that. I just need to go see how he's doing because she has been looking for him.
and he begins to write down your statement, and he signs off and he hands over what looks to be a piece of paper of your statement. This is your testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Sign off on it.
She's going to sign.
All right. And it seems like you were able to tell tell whatever truth you were allowed to tell.
Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Right.
That's synergy.
All right.
Awesome.
You'll be allowed at least 30 minutes down below. After which.
By the way, the fake name is River Lumpernatch.
Lumpernatch. God damn it.
Lumpernatch. Okay, so you will only be allowed 30 minutes per the interaction, after which you will be returned here momentarily. Do you understand?
I understand. Thank you very much.
Very well. So,
What?
as
Is there any trouble if I slap him? I swear to God. No, it's fine. Okay, I'll go. I won't do it. I won't do it.
not
Fine.
interact with the prisoner.
I believe. Fine.
So, as he looks to the rest of you, and make sure your friend is okay when we get back.
Ugh. Helena just kind of wipes fake sweat off her brow. Ugh, those halflings just like their cheese so much, it's going straight through me. And she'll just like pat the cheek of the nearest guard. Thank you so much for worrying about me.
And as you do, is like, oh yeah, we know, we get that every now and again. There's a cook down in the 7th level, and as River, as you pass the threshold of a door behind the house, there's another Stone Guard warden as he stands next to what looks to be a small map, and you see cell
You're
block
here.
C6, and he's like, oh hey, yes, and he slaps what looks to be a small lever. You see in the immediate square before you, a platform lowers, and almost as if it's shifting like a chessboard, moving from one square all the way to another. You see several different teleportation circles.
Ooh.
And as it finishes getting towards this last one, it rises up, and you see the guard get up, and he grabs the staff, and he taps it, and it begins to have that low blue glow that you are very familiar with as you've gone through a teleportation circle before. And as you both step through, you both feel the energy rush, and your vision closes and immediately opens back up to what looks to be a long hallway with several different thick iron steel bars with what looks to be arcane lines running up and down them and all around this room, and what looks to be yellow bricks that act as lines to stay away from the bars. He's all the way in the back to the right. I hear even so much as a peep beyond. I'm pulling you out, and we go right back up. Do you understand?
I'll be sure to scream for you. Thank you so much.
Understood.
And she's going to wink at him and make her way towards the.
Real quick, I just want to say what the incantation was for that spell. Hippity hoppity, breaking some magical property.
Amazing. God damn it.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
So, River, as you begin to walk down, you see eyes begin to shift. There are several individuals here. The eyes, as they begin to kind of follow, you see one man as he begins to hang from the bars. He smiles a crooked smile, and as he begins to kind of move his hands, you see the bars begin to glow and shock him back and throw him to the back of his cell. And you see another woman who looks patient, almost as if she has been untouched for years, clean as she could ever be. You must be new. And you begin to hear voices all beginning to talk to you. We have a visitor. We have a visitor. A visitor has come. And you begin to hear these voices as they begin to rattle.
Don't whisper, Yarrow.
Yeah, they all begin to rattle as if through. And by the time you make it down to the last cell to the right, you see a man chained by the wrists. You see what looks to be mostly barren, naked, only having his trousers, and what looks to be a black mark in the center of his chest that reaches out towards his right ventricle, as it looks like a black wing. And you see hair long past his waist, a halfling with bright red hair, and what looks to be a patched eye that stretches over his left eye, and it's strapped towards the back. A blackbird comes. A blackbird comes.
Leroy?
The Red Cardinal is here. She spoke of you.
What are you talking about? How are you alive?
And as he begins to look up, right past those green eyes, the green eye that peers past the long, patched red hair. She speaks of you, of Red Cardinal. As he begins to get up from the small seat, the chains become taut against his arms. It's almost as if he gets stopped halfway through. She said you would let me out.
Leroy, what are you doing here? How are you alive?
See his pale skin. He looks malnourished. The Blackbird has come. She came for me.
Talk to me normally, god damn it!
I was promised freedom. She said you would set me free.
I just need to know what you're doing here. How are you here? Why are you doing? Why did you try to steal from them? What are you doing? Please just tell me.
The Dust Lakes. The Dust Lakes will come again.
She's going to snap her finger to the side. Like, is he even aware?
He's aware that you're here. He's looking right at you. He doesn't... it's almost as if he doesn't know you.
Have you gone insane? Do you remember anything 20 years ago? How did you escape? Do you know what happened?
I remember blue sky. I remember fire. I remember a blackbird as it was perched upon a woman. She promised me everything. If I gave everything.
What did she look like, Leroy?
She had long black hair, a porcelain face.
What did she want? What did she want from you?
My fealty. And the blackbird came. She promised me vengeance. A vengeance I do not know that I fight for. She spoke. A Red Cardinal would come to free me this day.
I can't get you out of here, Leroy.
And
I
you
don't even know what
hear
you're
the
doing.
chains go taut. You liar!
I want to know what you're doing. Just tell me what you're doing.
I need that mall. I need to strip the serpent of its skin. And you promised me freedom. A Red
promise you
Cardinal.
nothing.
A Red Cardinal promised me freedom. I do not know who you are or why she chose you. But I was promised freedom. I've sat here for 2 years, waiting for you! And as the chains begin to kind of lax, as he begins to back away. I was promised freedom. I was promised vengeance, and I will have it. So if you are a liar, if you are a false serpent, I have nothing more for you. A red herring.
If I get you out of here, what are you going to do?
I need that maw to strip the serpent.
To strip the what?
To strip the serpent.
Serpent. Do you remember the moon and the swords? The
His-
crescent moon.
His eye widens, and the chains begin to taut once more as he begins to raise them over. Are you one? Are you one of them?
I am against them.
Then you will set me free. You see, as almost like arcane energy begins to spark at his hands.
You need to calm that down, Leroy. If you keep doing this, you're going to get in more trouble. I will try to get you out of here. You have my promise. But I need you to behave. Please.
Make a persuasion check.
26.
You promised me freedom.
I promise you the freedom and retribution you're looking for, as it's the same as I'm looking for 20 years. But you need to behave. Do you agree?
Begins to shake his head, nodding. I will promise, like I promised my fealty.
I'll come get you. I'll come get you. I cannot say for sure today or tomorrow, but I promise you, I'll get you out of here. You have my word.
I believe.
And she's going to leave a loaf of bread and some of extra cheese she got from the day before.
Alright. It's left near the bars.
Where I know he can reach, but not enough to try to grab me.
Okay. And he still sits there. You will be no red herring, right?
I won't. I'll get you out of here.
I promise you my fealty then. And he begins to sit back down. And he begins to say once again, the Blackbird comes. Blackbird comes.
I'll make my way. I'll wait a little bit to let the tears dry and make my way back.
Alright. As you make your way back, begin to hear some slight chuckling and laughter from the other prisoners down here. And as you make it back to the guard, that sounded eventful.
He's playing the crazy card. Do you know if there's a fee to get him out of here?
You would have to.
I swear to God, I don't want to break the savings, but
You would have to talk to Mistress Plapus.
I'll see about that. Thank you so much, sir.
No worries. And you hear he presses a button, a slight ring, and suddenly you guys feel the magic energy from the teleportation circle. As you guys' vision closes and re-enters, you are found back within the guardhouse building, and you guys make your way over. You make your way back to your party.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys,
How'd it go?
went pretty well, all things considered. Might have to talk to someone to get him out of there, but
Well,
Oh.
that's why we have Plan B.
no, don't worry. I just, I know, but we want to make sure to make things right. So, just, I don't know. I need to process this. Just need to find a way to get him out there. I mean, he's talking a little crazy, but we'll see.
So how are we playing out then?
We can just leave this place at the moment and see if we can have a little bit of an audience. With the playpass.
So I'm going to have to pull some strings after all.
If that seems to be the case, apparently there's no fee to get him out of there.
This sounds the way you're making this out to be. It sounds way too easy than it should be.
Yeah, I said the same thing, but I don't know much about
you.
Hmm?
Who is this man to you? That you're willing to go this far to break him out of prison?
Are we still in the?
No, I'm
In
sure
the-
we
Guys,
walked the fuck
yeah,
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
you
We're
guys
having this
made your way
conversation
out
in
Nope.
a while
Okay,
ago.
The guard is right there.
I was talking
The
like
guard's like, hey, I'm right here, guys.
Yeah.
I was talking like that because I thought we were still in there. But if we are out of it, then I'm just going normally. Yeah, no, it's Turns out he's a cousin. And it's all halflings from the same town refer to each other as cousins. He was there 20 years ago. Survived, but apparently he made a pact of some sort with a woman on with black hair and a porcelain face. Not the same one I met, so
He made a
He's-
pact, you said.
appears to be. She promised something, and he wanted something.
Can I roll an arcane check to figure out what the fuck that could possibly be?
Sure.
18.
18. There are warlocks that exist that decide to make pacts with beings of that are beyond our understanding. Based off of the description, there is only one figure that comes to mind, and she's pretty well known. She has a hand in literally all of your lives.
Oh?
She's known as the Raven Queen, goddess of
Yep.
death.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, he keeps talking about blackbirds.
Oh, he signed a pact with the Raven Queen then.
The what now?
That sounds unusual.
It's
Not so
basically
good.
it's basically the entity that pretty much governs death for all of us.
Neat.
Well, that just sounds ominous.
Here's
So
the thing.
your cousin pretty much just signed his soul away to an entity of death.
It appears to be so. He's doing the same thing I am doing. He's hunting revenge against the people with the crescent moon and the blades.
So you're saying the platypuses have some kind of connection to this place?
Not they have a connection to it. The item they have, he needs it to defeat these things. The way he phrased it is strip the skin of the snakes.
What the fuck is the snake in the grander scheme of things?
And
I
why
had-
this hammer specifically?
I do not know, but I had this nightmare of snakes in the same scenario. They are linked in some manner. I talked to him. He promised to behave, and he was talking about a red cardinal that was going to free him. He kept talking to me. I promised him I would get him out of there and maybe get him back in his senses. Like, he is looking for the same thing I'm looking.
So basically, steal the mall and finish what he started.
Not steal it, but maybe we can find a way to. Your family used to use it, Canis. Can you claim it back?
Why do you assume my family used to use it?
It was.
I thought that was.
It was never his family's to begin with.
It was
Oh.
never his family.
Oh, you meant the
just-
other family. Gotcha. Is there any
Here.
way? No.
What would this family want in trade for something like that?
Considering it's a family heirloom, and from what I'm guessing, it also has significant importance to the city.
Lionel, like, rubs his chin, but then, like, just knocks, like lightly knocks himself on the forehead. I had a very terrible idea just now.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Lionel puts
That-
his hand on the floor and conjures up a small hammer. A replica.
I will still be stealing.
Wouldn't they
it.
know the difference between a replica and the real thing?
I told you it was a very bad idea.
Mm.
Wouldn't this cause some really tense things to happen amongst this if they once we
To the
hand over this replica?
to the keen eye of a dwarf,
Yeah.
you guys would know it'd be a risky move.
Alright, well, here's the thing. We still have to talk to these people, ask if there's a way to
To get him
at
out
least,
of there, yeah.
bail, at least be able to bail him out. I don't rightly believe we can assist him in getting this item back, especially with how important it is. The most we can do for him is get him out.
Mm-hmm. At least give him
Well-
freedom. I never promised a hammer. Well, the mole.
Well, how much is the bail?
No, but no fee. But need to talk to the Plate Bus family.
Now,
I assume that his bail is a careful confrontation with this platypus family.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I stepped away for a minute. Did you ever answer who this man was to you?
His
Yeah,
cousin.
cousin.
Cousin, okay. Sorry.
So,
Well, we
I
may
mean,
as
worst
well go-
case scenario, we might have to do some extra training in order to like get him out, but we won't know until we ask.
Yes, I still believe that diplomacy is probably the best bet with this.
Could we forge that thing with you, Canis? Like you've been looking for this person? Show it to the family and get it?
Possibly. It would probably work better on that family than at a guardhouse.
Mm-hmm.
so, what is your guys' immediate intention?
Hmm.
Do you wish to
We're really in a tough pickle, aren't we?
do you wish to make a document? Do you wish to
Make
try
the
and seek
document.
audience?
If
I-
Canis is okay with it,
I say we make the document first.
in case they decide not to give it back.
Exactly.
Should probably start at the lowest level. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
You okay with
I-
that, Canis?
Canis, since it would be a document from your family, be a document of your family, you need to make a performance check to make a very believable story as to why you need him out of the Ironclad and into the general system of Auraria. So,
That said, we can ask first. If they tell us no, we can go to Plan B, which could be this document.
Yeah, no, but we have the document already, and if they say no, we can just show it. But
this could add an advantage to your guys' hand if you guys decide to present this first.
yeah,
But like I said, he needs to make a performance check for the documents.
I really believe
In
it.
either case, it involves lying to dwarves or trying to trick dwarves, the most stubborn people I've ever met, out of something that they want.
And it's been 2 years, people.
Can I
They're
Can I give him-
dwarves.
I know.
give him any kind of advantage with this at all?
Given your background and given your abilities, make make a performance check, because this is in order to kind of help make sure that you're not stringing a web of lies that can crack in the wrong ways. So make a performance check, Helena, and it will let me decide if whether or not Canis will have advantage on it.
As a 14.
As a 14? Canis, make a performance check with advantage.
I mean, the most believable story is that he stole from the vault. Something that another halfling did.
Or it could just be a prison transfer.
Could be prison transfer.
Yeah, like we were looking for him.
Aurario does have a major foothold as the political, lion of Alanon, and Kragg, Dracovania, Vale. Pretty much all these separate kingdoms, while they do have all their own separate laws and their own systems, let's just say that Aurario is the federal, while everywhere else is a state.
So you could swing that by using political muscle.
Yeah, and considering that you're one of the big families, it could land you a good deal of pressure.
Okay. All right then. So performance check. 12.
Oh.
All right.
Is that with advantage?
Yep.
So as you begin writing your document, and by the time you guys both check, making sure that nothing crosses over, you make what could be possibly the most believable story that you have at this moment. You fold up the documents, you seal it, tied it. It's yours to use. Now, as you guys are aware, with a little bit of back and forth, Canis, make a persuasion check, because right now you are seeking audience on the one of the top tiers where.
Oh, that's a lot better. A soft 20.
Soft 20.
Oh, so soft.
So, after meeting with one of the Stoneguard wardens on the top tier, there's a little bit of back and forth in conversation, and we will bring you to the house, but you will have to end up making your own reasons to Lady Platypus, and if she finds it worthy of interaction, she'll continue the conversation with you. And as they lead you to the house, what looks to be a clear-cut area where, almost as if the house begins to jaunt out, made of marble and various other granites. It's a very beautiful house, almost like a mansion here. Several windows and well-lit areas. The stone in the center of the town that kind of acts as the major light source for everyone shines much brightly here. And as you make it past the gate and make it to the foyer of this area, you see what looks to be a dwarven man who takes your statement as to why you need this meeting immediately. I'll be back down in a moment. So I need you to make a persuasion check one more time. One more persuasion check.
15.
You guys are there for about maybe an hour. And by the time this man begins to walk down the stairs, the lady will see you now. And all of you are called up to what looks to be a very, very nice office. There you see what is a very overly dressed dwarven woman. She does have a well-kept beard, and almost as if jewelry from head to fucking toe. It is gaudy as all hell. Hello.
Oh god. Oh god.
That's where we're gonna go ahead and end tonight's game, everyone.
God damn it!
Cruella the dwarf.
Oh no!
Oh god.
You guys are in the den Lady Platypus.
We are killing dwarves next.
Lady Platypus. Oh boy.
Franz is immediately on edge.
This entire dress I'm wearing is to cover my flat tail from slapping along.
All right.
He grows his beard back.
You call that a beard?
All right, so that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please do come back next week, where we will find out what happens next. Oh my God, we got so much done today. I'm so happy.
hell
I'm
yeah.
a little sad that the stream got messed up a couple of times. But,
Yeah.
Oh, Yarrow. Yarrow, did I ever get my quiver back? Because you said that would be. I would have gone to get it.
Yeah, you would have gotten to get it in the time that it would have gone down, gotten what you needed, come back up, and then met back with River and the rest of the group. So.
Okay, good.
So, that being said, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you all for coming by, and thank you players for playing. And I will hopefully see you next Sunday, everyone. Have a good weekend. Have a good week.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.